Thanks for joining. We are going to continue our basic understanding about firepower. Today we have a small lab related to how we can do the interface configuration. So that part we will check today. Apart from that, once we can go and install our FMC, once we can go and install our FTD, then we should go and join the FTD to FMC. And for that, we have options. Here you can see that we can go and use the CLI command, config manager, add the FMC management IP with some key. And same thing, we have to go and add the devices within the FMC. Once we do all those operations, after that, if we can go and verify, so after that, you can verify the FMC. If you are there in the FMC, and let me go to the CLI here. So within the FTD, if I can go and run the command, you can see show managers. It will show you the manager is completed. Let me highlight that. So we can go and do show managers. Basically, it will show you that, okay, that registration is completed. The device registration is done. Right, this is my FMC manager. Okay. So that part we have checked last time. Show manager, it will tell you that it is completed, and in the deployment it will be 100%. Likewise, if we have multiple sites, suppose if we have HQ, if we have other branches, those FTDs we can go and register with the FMC. Now next task we have in today's lab that we want to check here is to do the interface configuration. Now once we will go and discover these devices, we register these FTD to FMC, then we can go to the FMC, and from FMC we can configure these devices. Once you do the configuration, you have to push this configuration to the FTDs. So configuration can be done from FMC, and then it will get pushed to the related FTDs. So for example, you can see that I have one HQ FTD. Simply I can go to that device manager and that particular device, and then we can go and assign the interface. For example, here you can see that we have the edit option related to gigabit Ethernet 00. You can go to that edit option, and then you can give the name, enable it. You can go and assign the security zone. If you know Cisco ASA firewall, in that generally we are defining the zones as a inside, outside, DMZ. These type of zones we can define over the interfaces: outside zone, inside zone, DMZ zone. And then you can go and assign the interfaces to the security zone. So
Let me
suppose if,
ask you,
yeah,
can you give me more understanding on the DMZ, what the DMZ does?
yes, I can explain.
I know inside and I know outside very well.
Okay. Inside zone, suppose 0/1, and you have the DMZ, demilitarized zone, DMG1 up to maybe 10, DMG1, DMG2, DMG3, DMG4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, whose security level is in between 0 to 100. For example, suppose here in my case, DMG1 having label 50, and here I have interface 0/2. So you can see here that you may have inside zone which is unsecure, where you are connecting your edge routers and etc. etc. Outside zone which is little bit unsecure, where you are connecting your gateway routers etc. Then you have inside zone where you are connecting your layer 3 switches or core L3 switches etc. And then you can see that is DMZ zone as well. Now if you see the data center diagram, you will see that there are servers right? There are servers that people are placing within their DMZ zone, and those servers are not 100% secure. Like I can go and place the servers in the inside zone. I can have the inside servers like application servers, etc. And then I can go and place the servers over DMZ zone as well. But why not placing all the servers to the inside? So there are applications which is something that you are doing some testing, which is maybe exposed for the outside user or maybe for the internet users. So those applications that you are not thinking that which is 100% highly secure, it needs some exposure to internet, it needs some exposure to outside world. So instead, this application placing to the outside zone, we are placing to the DMD zone, which is relatively more secure than outside and less secure than inside. Okay, you got that point? Why we have this? And
So,
mhm.
so you place a server in a DMZ zone because it is more secure in the inside and it's less secure in the outside.
It is less secure than inside, more secure than outside. It is in between inside and outside. So the security level in ASA firewall for inside
It's
is
100,
100 and outside you know that
outside
is
is 0.
0, right? So in
Okay.
between 0 to 100, that means that less than inside, more than outside. That's the logic. This is nothing to do about security attacks and on. This
Oh,
is
so
just logic.
it's less secure inside
Yeah.
and it's more secure outside, you said?
Yes.
You mean the
Because
server?
yeah, because here you have some 90 or maybe some 80, maybe some 50, those type of levels you have. Right? And these are not the full-fledged application server. These are some servers placed here for some deployment, some testing, some other application which need access to the internet or maybe the other intranet network. Okay.
So that's what we use the DMZ zone for.
Yes, that's why we are using the demilitarized zones. Yes.
How you call it?
Demilitarized zone, DMZ zones.
It's a
Mili-
demilitarized.
demilitarized zone.
Okay.
All right. So now, uh, again, if you go back, so either it's a inside zone, outside zone, or DMZ zone, where you have the zones, security labels, and then you have the interfaces you want to assign. The way you will assign those interfaces to the zones, the way you will assign the IP addresses over the zones and do some basic configuration, all are same, right? But only thing is this, that one zone is highly secure, other is less, other is very less, like that. But the way we'll do the configuration is almost same in all the zones. So here you can see one example that I have one LAN side. Maybe this is my inside interface. Yes, so you can see LAN side and security zone I am assigning as an inside. And then once you have the name, the security zone, then you can go to IPv4 section and you can assign the IPv4 address, right? I'm going to show you this in the lab as well today. But likewise, you can go and not only you can assign the inside, you can see now we can go and assign the outside as well. So outside also you can go and assign like this. You can see like this outside, right? What you need to do, give the name, right? You can give the name, you can give the security label. You can see the security zone you can give. So first edit, go to the edit option, provide the name, then provide the security label. And once you have all these, then what you can do that then you can go and assign the IPv4 addresses. You can see IPv4 addresses. right? Very easy, straightforward. So this is the way that we are assigning the IP addresses to the interface. Likewise, if we have multiple different FTDs at different locations as well, no problem at all. We can go and assign the interface, like interface, as give the name, assign with the zone, and then IPv4 address. Easy and straightforward. Now, if we have some sort of routing configuration, then we can go to the devices, device management, routing. If we want to create some static route, want to create some OSPF, we can see options are here that we can create different type of routing protocols here, OSPF, RAP, static route, multicast route, all these routing options we have that we will see, that we can check later on, that how we can go and create these routing protocols. But yeah, we can go and create the static routing and then we can deploy it. After that, you can go and check the show route and it will work as it is. After that, I'll come back to this slide that we have multiple options. We have multiple options here. Once you log into the FTD, how this look like, I'll come back to this slide. At the moment, just leave it. Let's do one thing. Let's perform the lab task first, and then I'll come back to this. So we have our FTD, which is registered to FMC. Let me open the FMC console. Here you can see that I am within the devices, right? Within the device management devices, and then you can go to the interfaces. You can see that you have the interfaces. Now, what I want to do, I want to configure one interface and its IP address. So before going there, just wanted to show you this thing, this diagram, that you will see here that I have my FTD. I am here at this FTD. Now this FTD having three interfaces, right? It has three interfaces. One interface is connecting to the branch one, you can see, whose IP is what? 198.187.0. One interface is going towards the enterprise, whose IP is 198.185.0. And one interface is going towards the DMZ or IDMZ, maybe internal DMZ or etc. But this DMZ you can give any name, ABC, XYZ, alpha, beta, gamma, whatever name, right? So here one is going towards the DMZ where we have the server, right? Now this
Mm-hmm.
having IP 198.186.0. So in this case, if you go and see the interfaces, so here the interface name is not mentioned, but if you see the IP 5, 6, and 7, enterprise, DMG, and branch. So if I go here to the FMC, and if I see the interfaces IP, you can see that I have 6 dot something, 5 dot something, 5 dot something, which is connected with enterprise. I have 6.50, which is connected with DMG. So I do not have the IP address configured to branch. So what I can do here, you have this pencil button. You can click this. What we want to configure the IP address to this particular interface, and we should give the security zone as well. So I'll go and give the security zone. If you have security zone, assign it. Otherwise, you can go and click here. Suppose I want to create, say, branch 02. It will create, but our security zone is branch 01. So I'll assign it. Then we can go and provide the IPv4 address. Now, before providing this IPv4 address, even I can do some, okay, anyways, no problem. We should go and assign some IPv4 address here. We'll try to use the same IP range that we have. So for example, 198.187, this should be in the range of 7.50/24. 6.50, 5.50, like that. I have assigned one more, and okay. Now this is there. Now on top you can see that it is telling, oh, you have done some configuration, you want to save it. Click the save button. Right. Now once you save this, now it is interesting that you have to push this configuration as well. See where it is get saved. This configuration got saved to FMC. Saving configuration or creating configuration to FMC doesn't mean that you have pushed that configuration to FTD. So on top you can see, if we go and click here, oh, it is telling that deployment is successful, but actually you need to go and deploy it.
You gotta click gotta click deploy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let me go and see deployment history. Nothing is there. Okay. I can see status pending, right? What is that? Let's see. These are some other policies. I'll come to this. You can see interface policy, device configuration interface policy. So now you can see actually I can select. So you can see I can select, and then we have this deploy option because it is showing pending. You can see it is pending. And what are the things? There are some other things as well, but no problem. I can go and click deploy. Now before deploying it, I'll put some comment here. Only interface config. I can click deploy, no problem. But I wanted to show you the CLI configuration as well before deploying it. So let me go here to the CLI. Let me make some space here. You can see my screen. Now I can go and check the show interface IP brief. Although the font size is small, but you can see that 00 having IP 6.50, 02 having IP 5.50, but 01 is not assigned anything, right? Because we haven't done the configuration. We have done, but we haven't pushed it. Now deploy it and then go back here. Check this. It is still unassigned. We'll allow some time. We'll wait for some time here. So this will get completed, and then we have to do one testing here, that once you assign this, then you reach to some destination. So let me do that. Ping to 198.185.55 is one of the IP that we should reach, and this ping I will go and initiate for infinite. You can see it is not reaching here. We'll do that. After 4 pings, it will stop. Okay, -T. Okay, so this I have started this ping test, and let's see here. The interface still it is unassigned. That is not good. 75%. You can see 75% in progress. So we can wait for 30 to 40 seconds more. This will get deployed. 83%. No problem. You will see that it will be completed within 10 to 15 seconds. Once it is get completed, then we can check that. Now you can see it is completed. Now we can do one more thing here, that we can go to the policies. Once you are in the policies, you can go to the access control. Once you are in the policy access control, you can see that we have the main access control policy. You can see the access control policy report is there, right? This complete access control policy report. This access control policy report, URL blocking and all those things, we will check these things later on, right? You don't worry about that. I can go back here. What I want to do here is that I just want to edit this access policy. And this access policy, you will see that we have access policy. Later on, we'll discuss more about this access policy. This access policy is something is the glue, how you want to access within different locations, within different zones. So in this access policy, if we go and click edit, and now you will see here that what is the source. See, we have created some zones here. We have branch 01, right? And I have created branch 02. Now see the source and destination. So the available zones, we have branch 01, branch 02 outside. But in this access policy, what is the source? Enterprise IDMG. What is the destination? Enterprise IDMG. So I should go here and add this to the source and add this to the destination. Like, I want communication in between branch to branch, branch 1 to branch 1, right? And then we should have some policy that will tell allow. So on top, you can see that the action. What is this action? This action is allow. What are the other options we have? Trust, monitor, block, block with reset, interactive block with reset. Those options we have in this access policy. What simply we are doing here is this, that we are adding one of the zone here that we want some communication to happen. Now, once this is done, then we can go and save this and deploy this. So on top, you can see that we have the save. And then I should go and deploy it. You can see the policy assignment on top and select a device. Okay. That is okay. It is assigned to this particular device and it should be pushed to the device as well. Let's go to device management. Make sure that all these on top, you can see all these things are pushed. Otherwise, it will not work. I don't have to go all the time like this and check. This is completed. I don't want to roll back and all. Preview. Let's click preview. It is loading. It is little bit slow, but it is loading. You can see the deployment note, only interface config. Meanwhile, we are checking this. Let's go back here and see our ping. Destination unreachable. That's not good. And let's go check the interface. So now you can see that interface is configured, which is good, but do we have communication in between inside to inside? For that, we need that ACP access control policy to be pushed. And for that, we should deploy the policy, right? So let's go back and see how completed, but why it is moving on, no problem. So when we are here, let's go back to the access policies. Let's see out of this showing. it is missing. So that push is missing to the device. FTD1, yeah, it should be pushed. I should have some ups pop up that will tell that I want to push this configuration. You can see now branch 01 has been added here. Everything is good. And on top you have this deploy, right? Go to the deployment and yeah, FTD. And let me show you this access control policy to this and deploy this, right? And now it is in progress, but you will see that I can go back to my list. If will starts receiving the pings, that means that interrupt pings are working, means they are able to ping to each other. You will see it will show you that once this is 100% completed, you can see that it will work. You will start receiving the pings. Yeah, up to this point, if you have any question, query, please feel free to ask.
I just wanted to know more about the access control policy and
Yeah,
some other rules and nodding rules we're supposed to do. Like I said, I
yeah,
want us to be, I want us to go very fast on the FNC and FTD because that's what I work with every day.
sure, no
So
problem.
if you can speed up with that one, that would be great.
Yeah, no problem. So um, we will see that because we just started within 2-3 days. You will see that I will cover most of these exception policies, like the advanced policy and all those things. You'll see that it is completed, and I can let me go here and let me see that Spring is working or not. If we have this destination live, then obviously it will work, otherwise it will not work. So I can see 198.185.55, and I should see that what IP I have. Config. So what IP I have, I am in 198.181.28.100, very much like the management IP that I have. And if I am within some inside range, then I can go and ping. But anyways, no problem. We'll check these things later on. You can see that from the FTD, I'm able to reach. Here I have some issue going on. Maybe some natting is not there. Maybe some other policies are not there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I was
So
going to say maybe you need to do some natting.
yeah, natting, routing, those things we will see where exactly
Maybe
this host is.
routing would be one of the things.
We'll check all those things, slowly we'll check on. Maybe tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we have routing session, we have natting session, we have all other sessions. Okay, so don't worry about that. I'm going to cover everything. Let's quickly go back and complete our day one slide. So here we'll see that when you are logging to FTD, you are in this CLI SH mode, right? Then you can go and type system support diagnostic CLI. Directly you will land to ASSL. Or you can type expert, you can come to Linux user shell, and then if you type sudo lina_CLI, you will come to the ASA prompt. From here, you can go to the sudo su, that is a root Linux shell. From here, you can exit, you can go. This is actually very interesting cell navigation slide we have related to FTD. type expert or system diagnostic CLI. These are important things. So if I go and type system diagnostic, it's not giving me that command. Okay, no problem. If you type expert, you are in the cell, right? Once you are in the cell, what are the things you can do? Generally, while doing the troubleshooting, we are using such type of options that you are in the cell, you are in the other prompt, and you are doing uh, some checks, right? So you can exit from here. You will go back to the shell. You can go and check the route here. Let me increase the font size. Very small when I can't see this. Okay. I have putty or something here. File tools, options. Okay, this empty putty. How to increase the font size? I don't know. This remote gen. If it is a putty, I can do that. But anyways, no problem. Um, some options should be there. Okay, putty setting. Go to putty setting, appearance, change 10 to 10. Okay, apply. Now it is very much good. So here you can see that we have some static route pointing towards the gateway. Connected interfaces stand for CCCCC, right? And what are the things you can see? So interfaces, if you type question mark, you can see that you have details, IP, stat, summary, all those things you have, right? Like very much like in normal ASA firewall or Cisco routers, we can run this command. Now, if we can go to system support diagnostic CLI, now you can see that we are in the diagnostic mode. This is very much termed as a ASA cell. Now we are in the ASA shell.
What's that command? System diagnosis
You
CLI.
can
Okay.
see everything is recorded. System support diagnostic CLI.
System support.
What are the things you can see here? You can see the inventory information slot, policy list, prefix list,
You can see
software
the
version.
policy information too.
Yeah, you can see the policy list. If you have anything, it will show you version. If you have anything, version is there. This is virtual FTD
So it's
20.
system support diagnosis. That's the command, right? To put in the CLI mode. Okay.
Yes, yeah. And I'm going to show you some other modes as well. So let's exit from here and you can type expert once you are here. And then if you want to move to the system diagnostic mode, system support diagnostic mode, then you can go and do sudo Lina. Lina is the cell for ASA. It will ask you for the password. Let me try if password is correct. Let me try one more time. I need to check the password. My password is not correct, but yeah, again you will move to the same diagnostic mode. So from there also you will move to this. Now if you are in expert mode, and then if you do sudo su, then you will go to the root mode. Again it will ask you for the password,
Mm-hmm.
and once you give the password you will go to that uh, the root shell of that. Okay, but this diagnostic mode is important. You have the firepower shell and then you have ASS shell, both places you can go, right?
Okay.
Let's go back to the slide. So I was showing you this thing, right? This is interesting, important. have a note on that. All right, then what are the other things we have? We can go and configure the NAT and configure the IPv4, IP routing and all those things. So what I will do, that next class I will show you all these configuration, and then we can do some testing as well, ping testing and all. So next class I'm going to show you the configurations related to these basic things. What are the things we are going to do today is I will show you little bit very interesting things today related to firepower. But these are the scenarios we have. It's very easy to configure. And once you configure it from the GUI, later on you have to go and configure all these things from the program as well, programming as well. So let me quickly check here my list of the topics. I have some slides which is very important for you to understand the architecture of the firepower.
Mhm.
And today what I will do, that I have shared you the video recording link. I'm going to share you the this slide deck as well. Okay, so you know that what are the things it can do. It can do the security intelligence, the application visibility, IPS, AMP, URL filtering, and on-box encryption, decryption, etc. Okay, you can see the animation, ASA, then firepower, and then if you add both the intelligence, then it will do ASA plus firepower, all those things. Then if you go next, you will see that the FTD features, these are the features we have that we have already discussed. I will not spend time on this. It has application visibility control, how it is performing this task, because it has something it has some intelligence that it can understand the app ID, the metadata of application, that is nothing but the app ID. With those app ID, it can detect the application, and later on when you go and create the policies, so as per the metadata, it can provide the security. It has very strong IPS engine that is from Snort. You can see the Snort rules, and then you can see that how within the hardware itself, all the processing is happening. So we have something DAQ, data acquisition queue, something like that library. This is part of the structure. This is part of the IPS IDS or firepower structure, where the packets are there in the DAQ, and then you can say decoder, preprocessor, detection engine, output module, alerts and log. So it will detect the file and then it can flag it. See all this execution, how it is happening. This is within the system itself, within the IPS system itself, that how they can go and um, react with the files. This is not, by the way, they are using some language called Lua. Uh, This language that you're seeing, this is different, and in that language, the developer they are creating the new signature. So if new attacks are there, they have to go and write this in the Snort language and update the signature to the IPS module. So this is one of the tasks of security engineers, that time to time they are getting the signatures bundles from Cisco and then they are uploading to the IPS appliances. Then it can do advanced malware protection, all detection is less than 100%. Uh, Advanced malware detection is this, that somehow you are getting some file, right, from somewhere. And suppose if the receiving end, they are getting 2 gig of file, 2 GB of file. That file size is too big, right? How my firepower can go and analyze all those 2 gig of data? So that's why we have something called sandboxing technique. Sandboxing technique means this, that your firepower will be connected with some cloud. So when you are receiving the data, When you are receiving few bytes of data, somehow you will calculate that you are going to receive bulk of file, right? Then you are redirecting those data to some sandbox, where sandbox will go and download this 2 gig of data. They are doing the analysis, and after that, the firepower will allow that data to the inside network. Right, so we have some sort of sandboxing technique. Again, we have these options that alerts can be generated within the FMC. You can see that we can go to the analysis where we have the AMP type of analysis. Files, files, we'll see that we can go and create rules related to files network file trajectory, and then it will generate the alert. You can see these red circles there, that unknown file is present on IP this having the downloaded from Firefox, unknown file, this IP. So everything this firepower will generate all the alert, and finally you can see the animation here and the timestamp. That's very interesting. Within the firepower, you can see that it is telling that this timestamp, it is generating some file, downloading some file from this IP. After some point of time, it is able to tell that this file that we have, that is actually coming from this application. Then it is telling that file copied yet again onto the fourth device through the same assembly appliance. Half an hour later, Windows Media Installer.exe complete uh, description of the file, and after that it is marking that this is the malware. Cisco Collective Security Intelligence Cloud has learned this file is a malicious and irrespective event is raised from for all the four devices immediately. At the same time, a device with the FireAmp is one of the connector, and now it is renamed. Now the Cisco, what you can see, advanced malware protection. This is nothing but AMP is nothing but advanced malware protection. Cisco has renamed this. Now this has some other name. We'll check that. But yeah, in your end machine, in your laptop or server or desktop, you have this connector already installed, this agent already installed. It will come to know that, oh, this has detected the malware. Endpoint connector reacts to the retrospective events and immediately stop and quarantine the newly detected malware. 8 hours after the first attack, the malware tries to re-enter the system through the original point of entry but recognized as blocked. Right. So this is the sequence that it is doing. Right. Likewise, we have all sort of different type of techniques and technology that we should know that what are the things that our device can do. Later on we'll focus on that. Later on we'll see all those things. Up to this point of time, if you have any query, please feel free to ask.
No,